Well, our correspondent Julia Chapman and Dr. Sreeram Chaulia, a Dean of the Jindal School of International Affairs, join us live to discuss more about this summit. Thank you both for joining us. Right, Dr. Chaulia, what benefits in the future will India and Asia-Pacific gain from, enhancing this collaboration and relationship with Russia?
Well, Eric, firstly, for India, Russia matters at multiple levels. Obviously, it's a very, very trusted defense partner, and the scale of the defense relationship is just risen to another level in the last couple of years, totaling almost $10 billion of defense trade in 2020. So whenever India has faced serious national security challenges, be it from Pakistan or be it from China, Russia has equipped us with necessary hardware and without hesitation. So irrespective of Russia's relationships with China and Pakistan, it does not disappoint us. And I think that's the key reason why we are laying out the red carpet for them today. The S-400 is, of course, the pinnacle of this defense relationship, but there's also co-development, co-partnership, co-production, and the joint export, for example, of the BrahMos missile that is on the cards. There's a bunch of frigates for the Navy, Indian Navy, that Russia is helping to build. Now there is talk about Akula class submarine also coming in. So as when you mentioned the Indo-Pacific, it's interesting that Russia helps India not only to do military counterbalancing of its main adversaries, but also on the land side, but also in the oceanic side. So although Russia is a little bit wary of joining hands in the Indo-Pacific idea because it thinks that it is directly challenging Chinese sphere of influence, nonetheless, Russia is ready to provide India with all the naval hardware that we need to be able to push back the Chinese expansionism in the Indo-Pacific. So Russia may not buy the idea of Indo-Pacific or Quad, but that's okay for us because as long as they are equipping us, it's helping us with our core capabilities. Right. And in that sense, Russia is a geostrategic partner for us because it's not just civilian trade. Civilian trade, like you said, has not gone beyond $10 billion. It's been stagnating. But on the strategic side of cooperation, Russia has gone far.
All right. Finally, Dr. Chaulia, some critics view Putin's invitation as a balancing act by India between Russia and the US since Moscow has expressed reservations over the Quad. Dr. Chaulia, what do you make of such comments that this dialogue was an afterthought?
No, I don't think so. This is, as I said, pertaining to India's core national security interess. So it cannot be an afterthought. And I think there is at a deeper level realization in India that banking on the US alone will not help us manage our security challenges in our own extended neighborhood. For example, when the US packed its bags and left Afghanistan for the Taliban to take over, there was huge disappointment here. So who do we fall back on? Dr. Jaishankar was mentioning one of the main topics for the 2+2 dialogue between India and Russia is on how to stabilize the region around Afghanistan, especially involving Central Asian states over whom Russia has a significant hold or influence and with whom India needs to cooperate in order to keep a lid and a watch on the Taliban and other radical actors like ISIS who could emanate out of the chaos of the regime fall in Kabul. So I think Russia will matter in order to manage all these severe crises that we are facing, extended crises in our backyard. And as far as the US goes, I don't think it's balancing between the two because these are two independent. Because if you look at the geography, with the US, the partnership is more in the Indo-Pacific, in the maritime domain, and where there is multilateral initiatives with Australia, Japan, and with ASEAN countries. But one thing I must mention, Dr. Jaishankar said that both Russia and India should believe in ASEAN centrality. What he means there is that, we have to strengthen the regional grouping in Southeast Asia. We should not allow it to fall prey to Chinese divide and rule policy and other means of browbeating these small countries. Russia is far away from Indo-Pacific. It doesn't have a presence there. But I think Russia will understand that eventually, if it wants to re-emerge as a great power, it needs to come in the Indian Ocean. It needs to come in the Indo-Pacific. We have started a thing with Russia now in the Eastern Maritime Corridor from Chennai to Vladivostok. It is for commercial shipping, but eventually we hope Russia, with the submarine Akula class submarine deal and such things, that naval cooperation will also enhance, and softly it may ultimately help us achieve our goal of counterbalancing China. So either with the US or with Russia, our goal is counterbalancing China in one form or the other, hard or soft.
Dr. Sreeram Chaulia and Julia Chapman, thank you both for your insights.